Welcome back to another ActivInspire video. Today you will learn about the hide show feature, which is what I'm doing right now, locking objects down, using the translucency slider, aligning images, the importance of notes, and within the notes browser, the format toolbar. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the hide show feature, which is basically what I'm doing right now, clicking on an object or text to make something appear or disappear. So I'm going to show you how that's done. So here I have my image of a butterfly and I have the text. So what I need to do is decide which one do I want to disappear. I don't want it shown at the current moment in time, and that's actually going to be my text. I'm not going to select my text. I am going to select my image, and I'm going to open up my browsers. Once my browsers are open, I click on the action browser, which looks like a little spinning top, and I scroll down until I see hidden. Once I select that, this opens up down here. And I want to click on the little ellipsis, and I want to select my target. My target is what is going to disappear when I click on this image, and that's going to be my text 2. So I click OK, and the most important thing, apply changes. So now I click off of here, and as I hover over the image, you see the play button, and when you click on the image, the text disappears and then reappears. Really cool fact is that if you don't want that image to move, even though it has an action, you can still lock it. Control-Shift-L. So now I cannot move that object, but I can still make my text box appear or disappear. So that's very cool. It's one of my favorite things to use, but now I want to have my text hidden behind my image so that when I click on my image, the image disappears and only the text is there. So again, I have my text hidden behind my picture. It's there. I click on my picture. I go back to Action Browser to Hidden, but this time I'm changing my target. This time I want to make the image that I'm clicking on disappear. So that's image 1. Click OK. Don't forget to apply the changes. Okay. Click, and there it goes. There's my text. There's my image. That play button will always be there as long as you have applied the changes. That is another way of using hide show. One more way is what if you have more than one thing that you want to show at the same time. Here I have 5 separate text boxes, but I want them all to disappear and then only appear when that check mark is selected. So the first thing you need to do is select all of your text boxes. I'm going to do this by holding the Control button down and then selecting each of my text boxes. Then I'm going to group them together. Okay, so I clicked on that, on those 2 green squares that are on the marquee. I'm going to click off. Now I'm going to click on my check mark because I want my students to be able to check their work. Action Browser, Hidden, and now my target is this grouped shape that says 1, and you can see it has all of my text boxes there. Click OK. Click Apply Changes. Click off, and now, ta-da! They're all showing at the same time and hiding at the same time. That is one of my favorite tricks of the ActivInspire thing. Okay, so we did hide show, and now we're going to go into locking objects. I don't want this check mark to be moved at all. So, easy thing for me to do is I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to click on locked. Okay, and now if I go back into presentation mode, I cannot move it anywhere. Locking objects is so important. As one of my fantastic co-instructors that I worked with said, nothing will kill a lesson faster than either the students or yourself accidentally moving objects that were on the page. So my rule of thumb, lock anything that you don't want moved. Even if it's one of the drag and drop tools, if it's a text box, anything written with pen, lock it down because you don't want anything to move. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to lock down objects that have an action associated with it, so I usually go into design mode at that point and lock it down. So now I can't move this, which is fantastic. The only things you cannot lock down are the reveal, the spotlight, and the reveal one that you can find in your property browser. We cannot turn off the spotlight or the revealer. You can't lock the spotlight or the revealer, and you cannot lock drag a copy, but pretty much anything else you can lock into place. And now we're going to talk about the translucency slider. My students love this, and it's one of my favorite things. So let's say you have two images that you want to show, and we're going to combine this, by the way, with aligning images. So I'll talk about that first. These images are not the same size. How do I get them to be the same size, aside from lining them up myself and taking the time to make them the same size? Lasso your two images, and on your marquee handle up here is this little drop-down menu. It's the Object Edit menu. Click on it, scroll down to Align, then go over, click Align Complete. Don't click off yet. We have to do it one more time. Object Edit menu, Align, Align Complete. Now they are the same size. Before you click onto your page again, move them to where you want them to be, then click off, and this is how we use the translucency slider. You click on that image that's on top, you click on the sun, you hold it, and you drag the sun to the left, and it reveals the image underneath. If you need to go back to the image on top, you make sure your image is selected, click on the sun, and slide it to the right. It is the coolest thing in the whole wide world. My first graders love it. They think it's magic. I use it to reveal answers to the math minutes, and I always have them say a little abracadabra or something like that before it reveals the answers, and they just completely flip out. It's hilarious. Every single time, doesn't matter how many times we do it. So that's how we align images so that they are the same size, and how we use the translucency slider. I also want to go over the importance of notes using your notes browser. That's this one right here. Use your notes as a subplan. You never know who's going to be using your flip chart. It could be you again. You might share it with teammates, someone in another school in the county, or even somewhere else in the United States of America might be using your flip chart. And your notes need to be specific so that every single person knows exactly what is happening on this page. Maybe they are a beginner and don't know how to use the translucency slider. So you would want your notes to be very specific. Watch my notes browser. Okay, so hopefully you saw just how specific I made my directions there, because I want everyone to know, hey, this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing on this page. The final thing I want to go over is that you can use the format toolbar to format your text. Okay, so you simply select your text and then down here click on format toolbar, and it brings up your text toolbar. You can choose the font size, bold, italics, underline. If you wanted to change the color, do you want it in the middle or left, or all sorts of great stuff. And whatever you use on the notes browser on this page, it will default to that onto the next page. So that is all for this video. Thanks for watching.